Yemen analysts from the outset, and they continue to say this, is that airstrikes, aren't going to give the deterrent factor against the Houthis that they hope, and that they can do across other groups across the region.
It comes just a day after joint US-UK strikes on Houthi targets. Let's get more now with Middle East correspondent Abbie Cheeseman. Morning, Abbie.
Morning, James. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for your time. Just bring us up to speed with what we know about these latest strikes.
Yeah, sure. So we actually know very little about these latest strikes. We haven't seen the Houthis directly comment on them yet, as they did almost immediately after that latest round of joint British-American strikes on Saturday night into Sunday. But yes, we're seeing this major uptick in American strikes across the region as retaliation for the Iraqi what we believe to be an Iraqi Iran-backed militia strike in Jordan that killed those 3 US troops last week.
Is there any sign of the Houthis being deterred by these US and UK airstrikes? I mean, that was the intention, to try and get them to cease their attacks on shipping in the Red Sea. Is there any sign of that working, Abbie?
Sure, and it's a really difficult question, actually, because it's very hard to tell how much they are damaging their capabilities. But in terms of deterrence, I mean, the strikes are not stopping; they are absolutely continuing. And both the Houthis are very defiant, and they are saying that the strikes will continue as long as the war in Gaza is still going on. And they're saying that the latest round of British American strikes will not go unpunished. The exact quote they said was, "An escalation will be met with an escalation." And so it's kind of hard to see how this back and forth will ever end, and it seems to just be becoming increasingly a higher tempo.
I mean, and that, I suppose, is the crucial question, really, Abbie. Is there any sign of tensions in the region de-escalating? We had those US strikes against Iran-backed militias on Friday, I think it was. Now we've got more strikes against the Houthis. Clearly, there's the ongoing situation in Gaza. Is there any sign of tensions de-escalating?
Absolutely not. Yeah, this is like a very terrifying moment where the hope of these strikes across the region was that that they would be a big enough deterrent force that it would bring everything back down a bit, and it would put America and the US on top of the kind of balance of power. But we haven't really seen that happen at all, and everyone is really still rallying. These Iran-backed militias across the region are still rallying around their support for Gaza. And especially when it comes to Yemen analysts from the outset, and they continue to say this, is that airstrikes, aren't going to give the deterrent factor against the Houthis that they hope, and that they can do across other groups across the region. It's massively playing into the Houthis' hands, kind of in a propaganda value way. The fact that they are now legitimately declaring that they're at war with America is doing huge amounts for them domestically. So and they have so much history in being able to hide their missile capabilities from 9 years of war against the Western-backed Saudi-led coalition to try and defeat them.
Abbie, always appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Middle East correspondent
Thank you.
Abbie Cheeseman there.